Hi, Tim. Hi, Isabel. Hi, Josiah. Hi, David. Hi, Gracie. And hello to all my friends at Onondaga Free Library. My name is Mrs. Maggie, for those of you who may not know me, and I am so excited to be here with you today. April 22nd of every year is a holiday that's celebrated all around the world. And that holiday is Earth Day. And I have my happy little Earth right here, smiling at everyone. So, some of you might have heard the phrase, every day is Earth Day. And that's because we have so much to be grateful for from our amazing planet. And there's a lot we can do to help keep our planet safe. So one of the big things we're going to talk about today is we're actually going to play a recycling game. And hopefully it's fun for the whole family can join in, no matter how old you are. And hopefully everybody learns a little something. I know I learned a lot. So the first question I want to ask is, why is it important to recycle? Maybe you said recycling's important because it helps the planet, that if the wrong things go into the trash and don't go into recycling, it could seep into our soil, and then it ends up contaminating the groundwater with all the toxins. And then the animals might drink that water, or we might grow vegetables out of that water and eat the vegetables. All sorts of stuff like that. And also, trash needs to go somewhere. So we have big trash dumps with heaps and heaps of trash. And it takes a really, really, really long time to break down. And it takes up a lot of room. Room that could be forests and trees and places for animals to live. All sorts of stuff like that. We live, does anyone know what county we live in? If you said Onondaga, you are correct. And in Onondaga County, residents recycle over 70 million pounds of recycling material. So that's pretty amazing. 56% of everything we decide to throw out is actually recyclable and recycled. So more stuff gets put in the recycling bin than it does the trash can, which is really exciting and really great news. So we're going to play a game. Feel free to grab a scrap piece of paper to keep score with. Anytime you get something correct, you can give yourself a star or a smiley face or a check mark or an X or whatever makes you happy. And I'm also going to throw in some really fun facts to teach you about some of the stuff that we are recycling. So I'm going to hold up an item, and then you're going to tell me whether or not it's recyclable. Are you ready? All right, let's go. So the first item I have is newspaper. Would this go into the trash can or the recycling bin? If you said the recycling bin, you are correct. Good job. Okay, what about a cardboard box from the dry goods pantry? Does this go into the trash can or the recycling bin? If you said recycling bin, you are correct again. And we can just break it down just to save room, because if your house is anything like mine, my blue bin gets full really quickly. So if you just break it down and make it flat, it'll help save room in your bin. Okay, what about Oh, I have a scrap piece of paper that I wrote on, and I'm all finished with it. What do you think? If you said recycling bin, you are correct again. Where does paper come from? Do you know where paper comes from? Paper is made from trees. And trees are pretty amazing. 1 acre of trees provides enough oxygen for 18 people to breathe. And there are over 7 billion people living on planet Earth. So that is a lot of trees that we need. They also provide food and homes and oxygen to all of our animals. So it's important not to waste paper and to recycle it and reuse it if we're able to. Okay, what about this? This is a styrofoam top from like a carry-out food order. Does this go in recycling or trash? So this actually goes in the trash can. It is not recyclable. So that one would go in the trash. Okay. What about this is and you can see sometimes, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here. Maybe you can see what number that is there. It is backwards on my camera screen, but this is a dairy tub. It had cheese in it, and it has a number 5 on it. Do you think that this goes in the trash or goes in the recycling? So this actually goes in both places because lids aren't recyclable in Onondaga County. So we take the lid off and we put the lid in the trash, and then we put the dairy tub into recycling. Okay, what about this piece of plastic? This piece of plastic has a number 6 on it. Does this piece of plastic go into recycling or into the trash? This goes into the trash. Number 6 is not recyclable in Onondaga County. And the reason why I talk about Onondaga County in particular is because recycling companies are businesses. So they actually sell their recyclable materials to other businesses that make those materials into something new. So if they're not able to sell it, if they don't have someone to buy the material from them, then they can't recycle it. So if you live in a different part of the United States, you might be able to recycle something there that you're not able to recycle here. Okay, what's next? How about this aluminum can? It had soup in it. Do you think that this is recyclable or trash? This is recyclable. If we all recycled our aluminum cans for 1 year, we could save enough energy to light up Washington, D.C. for 3.7 years. They also, just how I talked about how businesses make things out of them, a lot of businesses will use aluminum cans to make bicycles. How cool is that? So you might be riding a bike this summer that was once a soup can. Okay. What about here we have a glass jar. Do you think that this is recyclable or not recyclable? So the glass jar, again, is both because we take our lids off. The lids actually go into the trash can, and the glass jar can go into the recycling bin. The energy saved by recycling one glass bottle can light a 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours long, or it can run a computer for 30 whole minutes just by recycling one glass jar. How cool is that? All right, what else do we have here to show you for our game? How about this one? This had mushrooms in it. And let's see what number. It's a number 1 on the recycling number. So this one again is both answers. This piece is the cellophane wrap. This goes into the trash can. This is not recyclable. However, the number 1 bin is recyclable, so you can recycle that. Okay. What about plastic bags? Any plastic bags that you get? So, plastic bags are not recyclable in our blue bins. We cannot put them in our blue bins. However, if you have a dry, clean plastic bag, you can recycle them at local grocery stores. For instance, Wegmans has a place where you can go and you can take your bags and they will recycle them for you. So they don't go into our blue bin, but they can get recycled. So you can hang on to that, and next time you go to the grocery store, you can put it in the bin there. Okay, what about, I have this cardboard box, and it came from the freezer. Cardboard box from the freezer. Does this go into recycling, or does this go into the trash? If you said trash, you get a point. I know that most cardboard is recyclable. However, in Onondaga County, frozen food boxes do not get recycled. And it even says on the back, it says to recycle it on the packaging. But if you look up our Onondaga County OCRRA website, it'll tell you no frozen food boxes. So unfortunately, we have to throw this one in the trash can. No frozen food boxes. How about toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls? Do toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls, do they go into recycling or do they go into the trash? If you said recycling, you get a star! Yay! These go into recycling, and they also make great things to do little craft projects out of. So if you'd like to do something with it instead, it's always great to give something you put in the recycling a new life. So you can make these into different creatures, maybe a boat, maybe a worm, anything you can imagine you can make these into. So maybe do some crafts with them instead. Okay, what about egg cartons? This had eggs in it. Does an egg carton get put into recycling or into the trash? So egg cartons are actually trash. They do not get recycled in Onondaga County. So we have to put this one in the trash. And let's see. All right, we'll do one last one. How about a dairy container? If you have maybe an orange juice carton or a milk carton, container that kind of looks like this, maybe sometimes it's longer. Does this go into trash or recycling? If you said recycling, you were right. Give yourself a star. This gets recycled. Just make sure to rinse it out first before you put it there. Oh, I have one more thing. I almost didn't see it because it's so tiny. What about a battery? Once you're done with a battery, does this go into the trash can or the recycling? So batteries actually have to be taken somewhere special in order to be recycled. So you don't want to put this in your trash or your recycling. But these, like places like Green Hills Market and Wegmans, have special collections where you can put the batteries inside there in order to be safely recycled, because they do have toxins in them that would be really bad and they would pollute our groundwater if they got into our groundwater. So it's really important not to put batteries in our trash can or our regular recycling, and keep those for later when you go to the grocery store, and you can take them then. Some other things that are special that you could take somewhere is light bulbs. You can recycle those at like Home Depot or Lowe's instead of putting them in your trash or your recycling. Okra gives out these great magnets that can go on your fridge. You might actually have one at your house. And so it also talks about, soft cover books can be recycled, and cereal boxes and pasta boxes can be recycled. Plastic bottles with a number 1 or a number 2 can be recycled. So this doesn't have everything, but it does have a few things on it just as a friendly reminder of what can be recycled. And what I learned, it's kind of counterintuitive, but what I learned from Okra, OCRRA, is that if you're in doubt, they say, when in doubt, throw it out, which really surprised me when I heard that and learned that. But what happens is if you accidentally put, say, an egg carton that's supposed to go in the trash, and you put it into the recycling system, it goes onto a conveyor belt, and they pay people to grab all the things that should not be on the recycling. They grab them and take them away so that they don't get mixed in. However, if it accidentally gets mixed into a bunch of recycled materials, and then it gets pressed down and compacted, and sometimes our trash materials can contaminate the recycling that they're trying to sell, and then someone might not buy it, and then they might have to actually throw away all the stuff that could have been recycled. They'll end up having to put it in the trash. So in Onondaga County, they say, when in doubt, throw it out, just to be safe, so that we can keep our recycling materials good and ready to sell and have all the right stuff in them. Now, because it's Earth Day, is there anything else you can think of that you could do to help our planet Earth? There is lots of stuff you can do. Some ideas I had were you can shut your water off when you're brushing your teeth. Instead of leaving the water running, you can just turn the water off, finish brushing, and when you need the water, you can turn it back on. You can also turn off your lights when you are finished in a room. If you're leaving that room and going to another room and you're not coming straight back, you can turn off that light and then turn it back on when you enter that room again. Another one is using reusable water bottles. or a glass and just refill your glass instead of getting single-use plastic water bottles. You could start a garden and help plant flowers and vegetables and fruits and all sorts of wonderful things like that. You can also compost. So instead of having food scraps go into the trash, you can start a compost bin to get some really rich, nutrient-rich soil, which is so good for our gardens. And you can help create a compost bin instead. I'm sure you have come up with lots of other wonderful ideas. Families, you can use Earth Day to learn about our planet, learn about solar systems. You can learn about nature, the importance of honeybees and trees, and you can learn about the water cycle. You can also take a walk around the neighborhood or just into your backyard and look at all the things we have to be so grateful for and celebrate. And I just want to remind everyone that no matter how you choose to help planet Earth, know that every little thing that you do makes a huge difference and that you are important. I wish you lots and lots of sunshine this week. Thank you so much for playing along with our recycling game, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.